guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I wanted to try a little game, and that is if I can only own one watch only, between $100 and between $10,000, what would I pick and why? Obviously, this is not me being 100% rational, this is all based on my opinion entirely, but it's kind of curious, if you had to live with only one watch, what would it be in these price points? And of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today, I'm wearing this trusty Seiko SKX. Have not worn this bad boy in a little while. And it's about time it got back on the wrist. Also, super cool watch just landed at delraywatch.com. A rare Panerai 98, a 42 millimeter radio mirror with a GMT and an alarm with the Gerard Perregaux movement. Super cool. Go check it out at delraywatch.com. Link in the description below, along with a bunch of other cool watches, as well as some newly discounted watches in the hot deal section. So yeah, guys, if I could only have one watch, and in some of these categories I might pick two, because I couldn't pick one, but obviously trying my best to pick one watch between $100 and $10,000, what would it be and why? Now for $100, pretty easy for me. Not a lot of choice there, but I'd go with the Seiko 5. Field watch probably with the green dial. You know, stainless steel, workhorse movement, no frills, not particularly accurate, but extremely robust, won't need service for decades. It'll just work. And a great one mechanical watch to have if you're on a very small budget. Totally respectable choice. I don't own one right now, but the SKX isn't too far off. Now, stepping up from $100, we'll go to $500, so $500 and below. Obviously, I'd pick the Seiko SKX on my wrist, or, objectively a much better watch, the Hamilton Khaki King. Day date, Swiss movement, long power reserve. However, the SKX is a different charm. It's a dive watch, one is a field watch. It's hard for me to pick one in this category. Obviously, I actually own an SKX and I don't own a Hamilton, so the SKX is probably my first choice, but the Hamilton Khaki King, totally iconic. And a lot of people will say the Turtle, because the Turtle is better than SKX, and I'm completely aware of that. But as I said, this is not based on rationale. This is based on my opinion. Now, for $1,000, what would I pick for $1,000 or under? Obviously, these are pre-owned prices. This one is tough. I went with a diver and a dress watch. For a diver, I went with the Oris Diver 65. Yes, you can also have an Aquis for this price, but I really like the neo-vintage styling. I love the dome crystal. I love the aluminum bezel. I love the chintzy bracelet. I like the size. I like the lume. It's just, I find it very, very charming. Sellita SW200, solid watch, not going to break, relatively accurate. Under $1,000, you can't do much better. And then for a dress watch, I'm going to go with the Frédéric Constant Slimline Automatic. What can we say? Extremely simple. If I wore suits every day, this would be my pick if I had $1,000. Once again, Sellita SW200. Workhorse movement, not terribly refined, but you do get a lot for $1,000, even under $1,000. Nice alligator strap, slim, clean watch that looks killer under a shirt cuff. Now stepping it up to $5,000. $5,000 or under. This one's tough. One of them is relatively easy to pick, and that would be the Omega Speedmaster Professional Hesalite Crystal. What can we say? Manual wind Lamania-based movement, now the Omega Caliber 1861. Hesalite crystal, fantastic history, a watch that can be dressed up and dressed down, a watch that I actually currently own. I have a different version of the normal Speedmaster Professional, but it's essentially the same thing. 42 millimeters fits me perfectly, and manual wind gives it a little bit of a unique factor. Pretty hard to beat that one. If I wanted something a little dressier, I'd go with the Jaeger LeCoultre, I can't speak today, the Jaeger LeCoultre Master Control Sector Dial, one of the most beautiful watches ever released in the past 10 years. 39 millimeters, maybe a tiny bit small for me, but it's okay because it's a dress watch. JLC in-house movement with the 22 karat rotor. Beautiful blue, gray, and white sector dial with black accents. What can we say? A watch with a lot of charm, a watch that would look great with a suit, can be dressed up and dressed down, and I honestly think is an absolute future classic. Now from $5,000, we move to $10,000. Once again, this one of them is pretty obvious. The other one you guys probably didn't expect. I'd go with a Rolex Submariner. Yeah, retail's under $10,000, but realistically, you're not getting a sub nowadays for under $10,000. I mean, you can get lucky through an AD, but for most people, that's not really an option. Yeah, maybe it's a boring choice, but I also own one myself, the Hulk version. Best all-round watch ever made. Water-resistant, tough, can be dressed up, can be dressed down. I don't like it dressed up. I don't think it's appropriate, but convention says otherwise. Obviously, I'm wrong about that. Very, very tough, very accurate. Rolex, always going to appreciate, at least historically. Do I really have to explain the sub-choice? And then I was thinking, what would I pick if I wanted something dressier? And I came up with something a little bit different. That is the IWC Portuguese Automatic 7-Day Power Reserve. Here we have an ultra clean and wide dial. I would go with the white dial with blue numerals. 7-day power reserve with a power reserve indicator. Fantastic symmetry on the dial. An open case back. Fully in-house movement. The watch is a little larger, so it'll fit me quite well, even though it is a little bit thick. And honestly, considered one of the most beautiful watches ever made. IWC, not so much a hot brand nowadays, but let's not forget that the Portuguese line was revered and is revered by many as to be one of the best designed watch lines ever made. And this one would be just under $10,000 pre-owned. I think that's a hell of a watch. Anyway, guys, if you had to pick a watch at $100, $500, $2,500, $5,000, and $10,000, what would you pick? I'd be genuinely curious. And I'm going to say it for the third time for all the people that didn't hear me the first two times. These are not the best watches in that price point. These are just what I would pick if I had to spend my money in that price point. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Also, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any videos. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.